So I'm going to talk about VRChat, and I know some of you guys don't care about this game. If you don't care about this game and the future of what happens here, don't listen to this audio. If you're somebody who actually cares about the adult community in VRChat, this is an alarming issue. Um, I've been here since 2014. I've been for a lot of stuff, and I don't feel comfortable with VRChat over the years. And so see, they took a very dark path, and I don't really feel comfortable in this game anymore. And there's nowhere to really go to get the same kind of things. And basically, what I mean is this content gate system they added, what I'm going to talk about, is mostly just a lie. And I learned it from a personal experience. And basically, what happened to your chat over the years is very complex for some people. Some people it's just more simple. Like the simple version of it is like VRChat was a free to play game. They had weird ways to make profits. You can look more into that. I'm not someone who can really give you detail. Even that's kind of vague for me to this year. VRChat had a weird phase where it was all adults and they were mostly just like in a beta back in 2014. And over time, they slowly adapt. But what happened is VRChat slowly changed over time. Basically, people used to be able to upload things for free, and people used to support those creators, right, by choice. And we used to be able to donate to them. And what happened is people saw they can get money from making avatars, and they flip it into a full-on business. And basically, what that encouraged is the first type of banning people. VRChat was to be a place where no one could get banned unless you're doing something really malicious. But now people get banned for in avatars, people get banned for cursing, people get banned for profiles. There's all kinds of things you can get banned for now. And they're constantly just cracking down on people left and right. And it started where like the avatar creators got more evil and they started supporting them more. And I don't think that's a really good thing for our community. It's good for the corporate market, but even then, it's not going for the VRChat marketplace. It just got released a couple months and months ago. I can't remember how long it's been. The thing is, I'm trying to say is, I don't like how they are treating adults as they slowly start like turning us, and they focus all their decisions on children, and they are 100% marketing toward kids now. The only other thing you hear is like pride, 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 pride. Pride's okay, but you're constantly getting harassed by pride 24/7. It's really concerning because I'm constantly having rainbow pride in my face every single like month or so. And sometimes it calms down for a little bit, but it just goes straight back up. Having pride things okay, but like having it really like pushing your face a lot is insane. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's just pushing your face too much, it gets concerning. Like a movie or a show. Like imagine like sports. Like all of a sudden we have to hear about football. Like every like 2 or 3 months, football, football, football. It's like that. The content gate system, based on what they told us before, they deleted their video. What you guys probably don't remember. VRChat made an announcement releasing the content gate system. And before the content gate system, there was this weird phase back in 2019 when they started cracking down on people wearing avatars, and they targeted the blueprint ID system. And basically, anybody couldn't afford to buy the avatars, or anybody wanted an avatar, we had it for free, would just get targeted and terminated. So they're going around with the banhammer, attacking everyone. And I realized it was no longer this place that it used to be, where you used to be able to go into a world and hang out with people and talk like you could. And now what it is to this day is little game worlds, and people are saying cheating VRChat when VRChat was just a social place to go. In reality, there is no way to cheat in VRChat. There is none. And the only time they're saying cheat now is because of Among Us and Murder 4. And now they want to add more rules what have nothing to do with your homeworld. So if you, like me, back in the old days, if you had your homeworlds like castle stuff, you wanted a no clip, well, too bad. If you no clip now, you're going to get banned. If you get a client with those bare minimum, you're going to get in trouble. Like I used to be able to go into Murder 4, and I didn't really care about the game, and I wanted to make new connections. And just how I personally feel about it, but I don't care about the gun, and I don't care about the knife. And if you try to make connections in like say Black Hat, they have these anti-tribe issues where they will stare at the mirror and they'll have their grips. You come up to them, does this ignore your ass? And Murder 4 had a unique place where it wasn't too aggressive like a prison escape or anyone the other zones. Like Among Us was too like violent with all the vote kicks because it constantly accuse someone of being the murderer, and that starts shit with people. Murder 4 used to be able to go into the lobby, drag your body back in the map, and basically like, okay, as long as I don't interfere with the game, right? And I don't do stuff, I should be okay. It doesn't matter what you did in there. They want you on the other side of the lobby. Basically, that when you're in one part of the map, or they're in this part of the map, you don't get social interaction. And people was like, why don't you find a place where you could belong? Well, as a man of my age, it's over 31, there's not really much place for adults to go. And then adults are constantly looking for somewhere to go. It's PC only to get to celebrate the questies. Well, unfortunately, they don't make a lot of power maps for PC users. And if you go to a place called the PUBG, I think it's called, it has like over 30 to 60 people for lobby. It's very crowded space and it doesn't work out so well. And over the years, they've been targeting adults and targeting sex, and they've been calling us bad actors. And another thing, what they don't talk about, like Tucker and all these other people, and I know you guys don't seem to care because Tucker's not the premium person. He's part of them. He's part of the development team. He's the face of it. He's not the owner, but it's a lot of people. It's not just one person involved in this. I know, like a lot of people try to simple this down, but it's actually more complex. There's multiple people to like point a finger at and like, hey, why haven't you helped your adult base? Why have you lied to us about the content system? Why have you not done anything for us? And basically, they say they're for everybody in their community, but they're not. And there is adults, well, like gooning, woo, sex, that kind of stuff, right? And when it comes down to it, we don't want to interact with the kids. We're not pedos. We don't want to interact with them all. And we want somewhere that we can exist in your platform and meet people and have our connections and not to worry about somebody coming down our throat and trying to ban us every single 5 fucking minutes and ruin our lifestyle because of their culture and their beliefs. And the problem is, like, we get this system later on, even though we've been complaining to VRChat for years about things like, hey, make adult instance so we can go there. Never happened. Hey, make it so if someone clicks on someone's avatar, they have to hit a consent term of service. So basically, what that means, if you wanted to see someone's avatar and it's not safe for it can be naked in a public map, it will have a consent form with terms. And if you consent to this, you are agreeing to see this avatar with a sexual, and you cannot report this person. So basically, if you're someone going naked in a map somewhere, right, public or not, you are safe against hostility towards you and people try to ban your ass. And by the way, sex is not allowed anywhere. Your home world, your friends plus world, your groups, your age verifieds, and a lot of times, a lot of people don't understand VRChat's hostility towards sex. And VRChat does try to hide this information. They're not fully direct to people or honest, and they won't fully ask this question. Imagine trying to ask VRChat these specific questions. One of the questions have been wondered, and people ask me all the time. Well, not all the time, but you know, when I was in these group rooms before their anti-sex purge, they made the group worlds so we can find people like us, right? And at the time, like no one's thinking of making a sex group because it's just a group, it's public. But then they introduced the age verify system on top of the content. They're all separate, but with the content gate system and with the age verify system and the groups, that encourages you to find groups that suits your needs. And people of like me and wondering, it's like, hey, if we make a adult sex group with age verified and keep away from the main public areas and do our adult activities in group zones away from like not a group public, but in a group place far away, we should be okay, right? Like how the it's kind of offensive but it's true. But people don't like the gay parades, and they tell people they can do their private things in the private room, and that's what we did. We went to a private room, and then they come stomping down in the private room, and they show you down there too. It doesn't really help anybody what we do, and I'm not into dudes, but I do wear girl avatars and like doing certain things what are frowned upon in society. And like, if you try to find somewhere that you can coexist and not be targeted by VRChat and not feel like you're constantly being threatened by them, feel like they're coming down your throat trying to ban your ass, they will fuck you over. I got suspended before, and I wonder what it was. And basically, when I found out this year alone that like if you have stuff in your bio, right, and they have a bot system, it's really disturbing, and I found this out. So basically, if you go to the VRChat website and you go to your profile and you edit it, and they don't like something you type in, the system will not allow you to type it in, right? So I put a disclaimer, everything of what people shouldn't be doing around me. I'm not calling people horrible names. I put no kids, no minors. I like this, I like that. If you don't like sex, don't be talking to me. Trying to really give them, this kind of like, hey, I'm not safe for work. If you're not comfortable with that, please step away. This is what you shouldn't be doing. Try to keep that like very distance. And apparently now they're using a bot system which doesn't give a shit. It fucking flagged it and didn't care. But like it flagged it later on, 3 months after I posted it. And the weird part is like, why did you allow me to post the comment in the first place? Right after I found this out because it was really hard to tell what it was because they didn't really specify with me and I couldn't really do anything to fix it. Basically, what happened is all of a sudden I got suspended, right? And then 3 days later, I was unsuspended. On the same day, in less than 4 hours with my hanging out with friends in a private map, not in public lobbies, they hit me again for another time. And like, oh, we're going to hit you with this and we're going to get back in. And if you look at it, it says violate the sexual guidelines. And it says offensive content and user profile. And I'm trying to like ask them what exactly it is so I can find it and focus on the subject. And then like I had to go to a bot, right? And they told me to contact the safety support team. What was it wasn't even people, it was another bot, and then just give me the middle finger. And there was like no direct response. It's like YouTube now. YouTube does this to people where you get no help. And I'm like, adults are being targeted. We have nowhere to go. And people's like, oh, you can just go to another one that does this. Well, the competitors are not giving us what we want. They don't give us exactly what we desire. It's a major downgrade, and there's a bunch of issues. So basically, VRChat has this huge problem where they own all the best mechanics. They do. They have the best graphics. So if you're a content creator or a world creator, you're gonna get screwed. And all the other options. There was a competitor, a couple of them back in the day, but they're dead. One was made on an Unreal Engine. I'm not gonna mention their name because they're gone. And then there's other ones like the link down here below. But the thing is, like, these types of people, they don't care about the stuff we're into. We want to relax, hang out with friends, and do these adult activities away from the kids and feel safe. And we can't have that thing with them. VRChat prioritized kids, went after people for having free avatars. Not everyone can afford to get these avatars. And I wish there was another place where the another team, somebody else, can make it so these problems weren't too much of an issue. I feel like the only way to solve this problem after what they've done, after all their hostility towards us and calling us backdaggers, is they should license. I'm not a gamer engineer type. I can't say it exactly the way I want to say it, but they should license their same game hardware, all their stuff, to another group of people for Steam only, what it is for adults only, and it has a different name instead of it being related to the VRChat. So that way, so VRChat doesn't look like a sex game, but they have a license with them. And basically, this license allows them to run the game on separately and encourage us adults to go to that part of the platform instead of being on theirs. Now, basically, how this would have to work is they'll have to split the profits of the VRChat Plus we give them. Some have to go to VRChat because they're greedy and they're going to want more money, but you have to pay like the dev team to work on it because like they're going to have a separate dev team what has to deal with the shit. So VRChat doesn't have to do anything with it. I feel like VRChat is like, hey, we don't like you people. We hate the fact that you're in the sex. We hate your nature. We're going to give this to somebody else, and then that's going to be their problem. So basically, they have to like sign a contract with VRChat, and basically they run another platform. It's on technically on Steam, but it has to lose the same stuff. You can't just go make this on your own, unfortunately, because if you did, they'll get sued. The other competitors try to pull this off with their free play games like Chill Out VR, but the graphics are really bad and the mechanics are just absolutely horrible. It's at a really bad place. And what this can do, if VRChat were not so hostile, it would make us so, hey, adults, you want to go somewhere where you are actually not going to get targeted, banned, have issues. Here is the recommendation to go. And basically, we'll head over there. I have my ID. I'm over 31. I can do that, no problem. I can get the money. I got money. That's not a problem. I get paid just even get in the game in the first place. It doesn't necessarily have to be free to play. I don't know about being compatible with questies because of how Facebook's going to respond to that. Maybe side quests. Probably not. I don't know. It just won't have their official name on the top so they don't get put into the same category. And no one's going to know the difference. This just because he is a whole different company. I think that'd be the best way because after like so many people had recommendations, VRChat did not care about us, and they have done nothing to protect adults. They have literally been marketing towards children. They did not make a consent form. They did not make it so we can choose to see our avatar. So if I got on a map, right, and my avatar has like big boobs or something, I can't control who sees my avatar, and they gonna freak out and be hostile to me. And like as a 30-year-old man, they treat me very hostile there because the older you are, and people's like, oh, they don't treat you hostile. They don't understand until they're old enough to see it for themselves. If you try to go to age verified rooms, the problem with the age verified rooms, even just for the basic things, is they're not technically neutral. They're not run by the group. It's run by a dictator, and each dictator tries to force their own beliefs on you. Like example, if I go into any age verified group, I'll randomly get kicked from the social interactions and stop making friends because somebody doesn't like that I block someone. I blocked tons of people over the years. And a lot of reasons I did that is because there was a bunch of minors all the time. It was even before the age verified thing was there. So like I'm gonna block whoever I want, and basically I'm not fighting people, I'm not starting shit. But if it's like, hey, that person is not compatible with me, I'm not compatible with them, I should be able to consent to who I interact with. I don't consent to interacting with this person because they're young or they're mature, they don't like who I am. I'm just gonna block communication so that no longer happens. But then they focus on murder 4 or something, or they focus on it's like you have to be friends with everybody or else. They also try to force like their own beliefs, like, hey, you have to wear this God Christian avatar, or you're gonna be kicked from this map. The group age verified owned by group owners was not the right path. And then on top of that, they hold group owners responsible for anything someone else does. I know. So if somebody goes like into your map, right, and they go naked, you can't stop them. And so they block you, the only thing you do is kick them. But later on, you get held responsible for what that person does. And like, what is the point of age verified room? I asked myself and I look up constantly trying to figure out what's going on because they're so vague about this stuff. And basically all I can find out so far, unless I ever had like a full, like massive interview with VRChat, I think VRChat needs to have adult conversation for adults. I think there needs to be that time where that finally happens. Like, hey, are you not going to support adults anymore? Is there any way we can separate the adults from the kids? Can we please fix this? They're always talking about like bad actors, a bit pedos and stuff, but every single time the adults who are not pedos, they loop us in the same category and we get nowhere we can go. They don't give us options. In fact, they just take away options and give us false promises. One of the biggest false promises was a content gate system. I'm sorry, I'm going to go on topic. I'll just come back whatever I find. The content gate system was a lie. At the time, they said it was to protect adults and kids. But reality, it's just a corporate tool for parents to try to control more people. If you go into age verified lobbies or 18, you go naked, you'll get in trouble. They don't support it, and their TOS is different than their guidelines, the community guidelines, and versus their content gate system. So they have 3 different systems that I know of. I'm not VRChat, they could have more. And they still fuck us over, right? And I know that I'm not playing a video, I'm not a major YouTuber, but I really wish they would do something for adults. They are really not caring about us. And I think it's at this point where like, hey, if you don't care, can you please just license your software to another group of people? What, just do this on the side and you not have to give a shit, and they can throw some money back into your pocket on the side. So basically what would happen is like, hey, we'll leave your platform and you can have all the kid-friendly SJWs you want over there, and we can go over to this other platform and you make some money on the side, and we'll pay plus subscriptions to them, and they'll give you a proportion of the profit because they have to, pay for rent or builds or whatever. They have to, live like everybody else does. And I wanted to support VRChat back in the day, and the content gets them is a lie. It doesn't protect adults, and it's not really helpful. Like, I'm not fully naked. If you have nipple clamps on to hide your nipples and hide your vagina, it does still come out there. Even if you do have a bra on, they still target you. Back in the day, a bunch of adults used to get targeted for like sexual bikinis and like bras. If your boobs are too big on an avatar, you're attacked. It's more of a hypocrite thing. If I was a female, they're less aggressive, but since I'm a male, it's a bigger threat. There's not really safety precautions for adults, and we tried to follow the guidelines, but they don't really care about us. We're not their actual marketing, and they're marketing to it. So I don't see a reason they couldn't like get us off their platform by giving us so much to go. But by doing what they're doing now, is making other people make alt accounts because we have nowhere else to go. It has the same kind of stuff. And some people go say touch grass, and that's not what I'm arguing for. I'm arguing for a place for adults to go. And like they keep saying the fur, but they're not. We're being discriminated. And like as a 31-year-old man, I don't think somebody should be controlling what I can and can't do by myself with other adults. That shouldn't be happening. And if VRChat lets this, I'll move from the VRChat platform straight over there, and then that'll just be the end of it. And like every so someone complains, like, "Hey, I don't like VRChat. Hey, there's this other game that has all the same stuff, and you're safe, and they won't block you. Basically, this game would have to be so you go naked anywhere, and sex is complete, 100% allowed. Adult conversations, you have to be over 18, and I guess you have to be age verified." And basically just be a safer place to go. People don't want to get, we don't want to get banned by you constantly. We don't want to be targeted by you. We just want a place where we can exist. And the other platforms can't do what you guys can do. They don't have the graphic support. They don't have the easy toggle support. They don't have all these other things. And I had no problem getting you guys, like, if ever VRChat hears this, but I don't think they care. My shitty nobody YouTube channel. I'm not even a YouTuber. Like our money, that's never the problem. When you guys first released VRChat Plus, I was one of those dummies. What thought you guys were going to silently support adults, and I was like, oh, cool, I'm definitely going to sign up for this. At the time, I had mods and I had unlimited avatars. I was one of those friendly client ones. The one was recognized by VRChat. It was the cat one, the MVRC one, and VRChat knows back because they were involved. Even one of your staff members made the out client back in the day. Like, you know, clients were technically malicious, but you guys just basically what we all found out is you guys just didn't care. Corporate come in, you guys didn't give a shit, and you still don't. I don't see a reason why you can't encourage us to have somewhere else, and you can make some money on the side, and then like the adults will be away, and you can focus on your crowds of people. Because let's face it, before the Kid Empire, we had like crowds of like less than 10,000 per day. And like the second, like the Quest Empire hit, it boosted up. And then after your aggressive hostility towards adults, and you say it's for crashers, but really the anti-cheat system does stop crashers. It didn't really help. It just targeted like Murder 4 and stuff. I had unlimited favorites. Even though I had favorites, I didn't care. I just went straight for that. And like it was only 300 favorites. It wasn't really the smartest move, but I wasn't really cool with that. I think they should have like invest more into PC, and I would have put more money into it. Like I mean, want to pay for more storage, like if that was the thing that needed to be done. But that didn't matter to them. What mattered is like the second I started paying them, I was like, the other adults, we thought everything would be better, and they immediately started banning adults. They started targeting avatars, and they started focus on greed. Anti-cheat was like one of the biggest middle fingers we ever got. And VRChat just doesn't care. And my side is I see a lazy company, but doesn't care about its adults and just cares about making money. And every time someone like tries to recommend a thing, they just ignore them or hate them. I feel like I'm talking to a demon instead of a person. Now, if they're humane, if they're like a normal human being, it's like, oh, yeah, we can do that. We can. Now, the problem is I'm not saying you're going to be able to find a group can easily do that and be trusted. That'd be a different story. But if it is possible, like maybe mention it in like one of your videos. Hey, we're going to look for a development team. This is the PC way to do this. Like adults and kids shouldn't be interacting so much. We don't encourage another platform for PC, blah, blah, blah. We see if we can find a dev team to follow our rules. Basically, that they'll go up to you and sign a contract, or these split 50% of their profits or a smaller portion of it. Maybe like 10% for each one, and it won't really matter to you because like the main profit you're getting is towards the children, and there's not much adults. So like adults will come back agility in the VRChat though. They will like this other one. There used to be a lot of us before that happened, and it was spreading, and the adults didn't have like the Quest 2 headsets at the time. I do wish there's a way for Quest to come back in, but that's a different thing from Meta's issue. I don't think you guys are gonna have a good time with that. Maybe side quests, if it works, I don't know. I really wish there was this way to stop people from constantly being afraid they're going to get spinned or attacked or reported constantly. A lot of times, like these websites that they don't like, the one that says a V and it ends with the S, are created because the avatars are just too expensive and there's way too many of them. and then they charge like 50 a pop and then 20 pop for outfits and things like that. And it used to be way easier back in the day. You used to be able to go to a public map and you just click on a bunch of variety of avatars. You need not constantly upload avatars, but now we do because of how it works. You can't share your adult content with another person. They have to have their own version of it. And like paying the full price for a video game just to wear an avatar for a couple days is not worth it. Especially when somebody can keep selling it over and over again and it's constantly just keep making the same profit. It's not like there's some giant corporation. It's not like there's tons of employees. It's like one or maybe two people. And like for a person who, oh, I'm not gonna make much money on it. It's like, well, you will, because every single month someone else will buy it, and they don't understand is there's always new people coming to VRChat, and there's always gonna be somebody new. And like how you can get their attention is by making the price more affordable and more reasonable and encourage them to buy more stuff. You'd be amazed if you don't overcharge for things or say you worked really hard on it and charge 50 bucks, what people will do. It's just there's so many options. And like you go to a grocery store, right? You can't constantly buy everything. Imagine if I was charging $5 for milk and charging you like $1,000 for a pair of pants. It's unreasonable, especially when you have to get in like quantities. Some people might get one avatar, that's completely fine. And basically, the lower it is and the more you have, the more you can sell and the more it spreads. And it'll encourage people not to go to these kind of websites if you weren't so overpriced. Now in VR chat, they force optimization on the avatar so they look like crap and they know what I'm talking about. They also made it so they couldn't go not safe for work. Now I could be wrong with that, but I've never seen a single one ever be able to go nude. You don't get full access, and they get to charge the same amount, and sometimes even charge more than they do on the Gumroll and their websites. So even when you do comply with capitalism, it doesn't work out in your favor. Um, I don't really think their approach to adults and calling us bad actors and say it's not about the avatars we wear. In fact, the main majority is the avatars. You target our bile, you attack our groups, you attack our groups' descriptions. You go out there, people goon in private areas or age verify with consenting adults, and they have done it before. And now you're using bots to deal with all the problems. I don't see there's any way for us to like coexist in VR chat because you guys just don't want us there. And trust me, we have been trying to find a solution to get away from your platform. Like we're going to give you money, but if you don't want us there, there's not much we can do. And all these people that spook their accounts is because they got nowhere else to go for this. If you release this thing to another group of people and they make it with a different name, we can start heading off and then you don't have to see us anymore in your version and you won't have the complaints. Hey, there's adults over here. Well, we'll just tell them to go over there instead. And that will encourage a lot of us to like not be in there. And your numbers will still be at 20 to 40,000 per day. You'll be just fine. You'll get more corporate value because I think there's a part of you guys that want to go to the consoles. That's another side topic, and I don't know if they ever will, but it's kind of like I'm thinking, I don't know, but I really think this might be something they'll do. So basically, it's a side thing I'm going to talk about. Sony tried to get into VR and they failed because the games are so limited, and what they don't understand about the VR chat world, how niche it is VR chat is the lifeline that keeps it running. If VR chat were to die, the platform would completely go. Even with Chill Out VR, it'd still die. Chill Out VR is too lazy to make official updates, and it took them forever to fix their black menu where it looked like green diarrhea and dog shit. They did. It's true. They took forever to do that. And basically, the thing is like with the PlayStation people for the first one, the second one, is it wasn't able to go on PC, so the headsets are pretty much useless unless you're on the PlayStation in the first place. No VR chat, the games you have are limited, and you have no reason to really spend long periods of time on there. So it died off, and Sony made an adapter for the second one for the PC, so you guys should use it because they pretty much had no purpose. Xbox doesn't want to make hardware, and we know that because, like, hey, we want an Xbox handheld system. Well, they got our suits to make instead, so they didn't have to do anything. They just put their Xbox software. So basically, what could happen with Meta and with the Xbox, if it goes through properly, Meta can make a partnership with the two companies from Sony and Xbox. If Xbox is still alive due to their current market issues, I don't know how that's going to go. Where you can pretty much connect a wire, and for now, that's be a software update where they provide software from Meta side, from Xbox and Sony side, and they partner up to make it compatible for using an app. And basically what that'll do, and this is a big deal for companies, is like that'll allow them to run better graphics, allow companies to make more games to sell. Because a lot of people invest in the VR game world, there's not much you can do. But imagine if you had like the modern Xbox series, if you had the newer consoles and you could just launch up a shooter game and see way better graphics, and you go on VRChat and see way better stuff. All you had to do is hook it up to each other, and they had a partnership like that. Then they might charge you $10 a month to do it, but I'm pretty sure a lot of you would pay instead of paying like a couple grand for a gaming computer. I do recommend they give you a wire though, so you can hook it up. But you imagine like you just go onto your headset of your PlayStation or Xbox, and you go into your Meta headset and you click on the app and it launches and it connects to your system. I recommend a dongle if they are gonna do that, but mostly they're gonna try to go for Wi-Fi. I know it's gonna be bad for everybody. That's why I recommend a wire. Um, and then you could just see PC worlds and PC graphics, and that means they can like make more games, encourage more content creators to get involved. And since the RAM crisis is such a big deal and the market's kind of messed up, a lot of people still have those modern consoles, and you can still get a PlayStation 5 and a more affordable range. Like the Steam frame, the Steam machine is not a good idea unless you want to spend over $1,000. I don't recommend it. Linus Tech Tip just found the official price tag. There's some for over 1,000 now. It's like 1,050 something. And I only found out about this like today because now they have the official numbers, and I'm still waiting for more stuff like that. But at this point, if we can get off of your platform and go to another one, but we need your engine, we need your stuff. It's just not going to work without it. Um, just please make a contract with a third team and make them deal with stuff you guys don't want to do, and we can safely leave your platform and be happy knowing every day we hop in, we're not a threat, someone trying to ban us or trying to come after us or harm us. Um, I personally wish that you guys would care more about adults, but it's just not going to happen. If you guys are new to VRChat, VRChat's going for a very aggressive phase. One thing before I end this clip, I do know they made an announcement. I'll post it down here in the description. You can click on yourself. It's where they made these announcement. I call it the anti-sex war. Um, Basically, where they were talking about the content gate system wasn't strong enough, and they need to make it to where bad actors, and they claim it's pedos, but let's be real here. Not everyone's a pedo, and everybody wants to be part of the pedo weird shit. Um, that's why we all signed up for Age Verify and try to go to Age Verify lobbies, but they screwed us over. Where they do this thing where they say, oh, it's okay, but it's not. They're gonna do allegedly, it's been over 6 months. Sorry, get off topic. They're gonna make it so where you have to have age verified to see these avatars, and like I'm for that. But if you guys are gonna be banning people for sexual things that are adults, and they get permanently banned, and then they have to do something they're not supposed to do, get another person's ID just to get back in and see people's avatars, it's not really the best solution. I think you guys should be adding a safety precaution if you're going to do this. If you're going to make age verified, you should make it so where if you click on any of these avatars, and we will put on the proper guideline tags, you are hitting a term of service where you can't see. So if anybody can see my avatar or any of my friends' avatars, and we have the proper content gate thrown and says this doesn't matter where we're at, they hit a consent form at this point, and they agreed to see what's on our avatar, and we can't get in trouble. That means we can go to Among Us, Murder 4, and basically in all these other maps, we show up as a fallback avatar at all times for safety reasons. And meantime, if they see our avatar, they have to agree to this consent thing. That means they can't ban us or punish us or anything because they agree to terms of service. I got a feeling they're not going to do that, and I guarantee they don't really give a crap about us. I feel like it's just another marketing tool for parents and corporate and adults are just being thrown under the bus. They always talk about like we're the problem, but they never go to any place to go, and they always make us look like the bad guy. No offense, VRChat, but it's true. I mean, you keep talking about pedos, and I don't support pedos, but when are you ever start talking about your adults where are getting punished by your marketing towards children? When are we gonna have a place to go? You say it for everyone, right? But where is it? Because I don't think it's coming to VRChat. I don't think it's safe for adults to remain in there. And like even so, for example, as a man, right? If I go in there and I have nothing in my bod, I'm wearing the safest avatar on the planet. Doesn't matter where I go, they'll say, "Oh, you're a pedo because you're 31 years old. You're a pedo, 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 pedo." There is no real protection for adults, and I think it's time that you start working on splitting our communities and giving us options. Now you can't split everyone, that's true, but for now there is nowhere for us to go, and we're kind of just in the way, and you're not really helping us at all. I think it's time for another team to get involved, and you give us a different name. Like, please, Lord of God, just have another team do it. Make them sign a contract. Just please have it. They'll give you a small percentage of it, and you won't even notice we're in your way anymore, and your numbers will still be at 20 to 40,000. And on top of it, you can try to go market towards the consoles if the meta decides to team up, because meta has to give approval. But I think they will. I think meta wants to get involved because meta's having a hard time, even though they're technically Facebook. I said I could. I bet they'll never hear this. I wish they would stop attacking their adult group, but we're really being targeted massive crowds of people. It's not just one or two or three or five. I've talked to many people that had their accounts banned, and also you've been calling us with bots at this point. Like, if you didn't like someone's bio, you should have just let them even upload in the first place. Like, why can you spin somebody for like their bio if you let to go for in the first place? Like, I don't know. I feel like I tell my friends, don't be posting anything about yourself in your bio, because it's now being misinterpreted by a bot. I put a disclaimer to like tell people what not to do with me, to not defend them, and somehow that's offensive. Um, I don't want to hate VRChat. I just want VRChat to start helping their adult group. They shouldn't have done this many years ago, and we have money to give them. I mean, it's not a money issue. It's they just don't care. It could be a number issue though. I mean, there'll be new people coming in. I know adults will come back to the platform if they hear this is the adult one. So there's a bunch of people would stop playing VRChat because of this, and hey, there's an adult one for adults, and you'll see numbers jump up again, and especially if it can go close compatible, we'll go even higher. And you can finally split our two groups, and everyone can finally be happy. You can have the kid empire, and we have the adult empire.